This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Tuesday, March 25th of 2025, and we are so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I continue our Commodity Classic coverage with a conversation with Craighton of Agoro Carbon as we caught up about their carbon market programs. We'll also have a check of the closing markets with Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. First up, here's my conversation with Clay as we talked about the success of those programs and how they help out farmers. And of course, you guys still strong in the marketplace. Give us a little bit of an update on how Agoro is sitting with those carbon market programs.
Yeah, Agoro is sitting quite well. I'm heading into year 4 myself here, which seems a little crazy to think about, kind of long in the tooth for carbon. But yeah, we're over 33 states now, over 2 million acres enrolled. So we're still rolling strong into 2025 and still have our consistent offering with the row crops and the range of pasture land both. And I think that really differentiates us in the market, and then having that in our growth success team. So still sitting here strong and ready to take on a new year.
I know a lot of that practice is kind of getting paid for practices you already are doing, plus adding maybe a new one, preferably as well. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the row crop side of things, what are some of the highlights that you guys have had recently in those programs?
Yeah, recently there's actually been a lot more interest on the legume edition cover cropping. So like your legacy cover cropping guys that have been doing cereal rye, for example, for 20 plus years, say they want to add a hairy vetch or red or white clover or something like that. There's been significant more interest in that now too, trying to diversify their species to get more returns, more nitrogen credits, things of that nature, and it also qualifies them for the program. So that helps the legacy guys that have been doing the right practices for a long amount of time still get that additionality factor to get into the program.
And then I know on the livestock side of things as well, not necessarily an area that people think of when it comes to carbon markets, but still plenty of opportunity to get a little extra revenue.
Yeah, absolutely, especially like in my neck of the woods, Nebraska, Missouri, a lot of guys will have both, row crop and rangeland, but to be able to offer something to livestock producers, it does not have to exclusively be cattle either. We have sheep, we have bison as well too. So, but you can do grazing management, and there's a variety of ways to get involved there. That could just be something as simple as adjusting the amount of grazing days in the paddock, or some cross fencing, animal movements, rest periods, things of that nature. But the more popular one I've seen recently is that overseeding, kind of similar to that legume for the row crop side. Some guys are wanting to get some more pasture growth out there, some more forage for the animal and things of that nature. So we really help we're never going to tell the producer what to do on the ranch, but we can help give it kind of a recipe for, okay, what are you looking to add more? You're looking to add more to the land or add more like healthy weight to the cow, like that too. So we have folks that can help, specify a species and get in touch with you. And I know that flexibility is something that's really appreciated by those producers of just making sure that, hey, we tried this thing out, maybe let's try something different, let's add this on. That plan can evolve as the farm does. Yeah, absolutely. It can evolve as the farm goes, and like you can start on X amount of acres, say you want to start on 500 acres first to see, hey, is this the right fit for me? And you can always add the additional 500 the next year, for example, if you wanted to. So we have that flexibility. We have several producers that have several contracts with us and have tried out specific practices, and we really had that flexibility factor too of our 2 different payment options also for the grower, which I love to kind of personalize the carbon experience to the producer then at that point too. Like, is one option better for your leased acres compared to your owned acres and things of that nature? So just talking through it with the farmer or rancher and figuring out, okay, what's going to work best on this acre practice-wise and payment-wise. All right, Clay, lots of great information today for any of our farmer listeners and viewers who would like to get in touch with Agoro, learn more, and maybe look into some of those carbon market programs. How can they do that? Yeah, our website's fantastic. agorocarbon.com. We have a wonderful knowledge hub on there that has even a glossary of terms for carbon, but also has podcasts, videos, interviews, how-to videos on carbon markets, the buyer side and the producer side. I love linking stuff like that to producers. And then we also have a carbon calculator on there. So if you want to see a high-level rough estimate for, hey, if I do covers in Custer County, for example, this could spit out an estimate for you and gets you in touch with a rep like me. That again was Craighton of Agoro Carbon. We'll go ahead and take a look at the closing markets next, but first here's a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. Time now to take a look at the closing markets with Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. First off, Kenan, it's been quite, kind of a quiet day in the ag marketplace. How do the grains trade today?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a down day in the grain markets. I guess corn and wheat closed towards their lows. Some of that could be, news more at a macroeconomic level. Russia and the Ukraine are set to maybe renew the Black Grain Sea deal, provide safe passage to vessels throughout that Black Sea area. India's at the negotiating table with tariffs, which could be one of the reasons why you might have saw one of the things that's up today is new crop soybeans were up just a hair, and then soy oil is actually up just a hair too. But just some macroeconomic news moving the markets. In addition, the EU is also negotiating in Washington today, talking about tariffs and reciprocal tariffs. So between the March 31st report, which is coming out next week, weighing on the market, and potentially some macroeconomic tariff talk, which is going to, reciprocal tariffs will be implemented, next week in April, according to the administration. The market is, kind of down today, at least in grains.
That was going to lead me to my next question of that quarterly grain stocks and then the planting intentions out on March 31st, next Monday. Feels like the grain markets are kind of just positioning themselves to be able to react when that news comes out, right?
Yeah, we got some, the analyst range of guesses was released today. Corn sitting over 94, soybeans around 84, and the wheat's just a tad shy of 47 million acres. So, yeah, the market's probably positioned to that, looking at trade guesses. But, yeah, so factoring in those, and then the USDA will give us a report, and it will probably be completely different, and the market will go crazy. Or it'll be the same, and we'll stay, fairly status quo with what the market's been trading.
Well, we know the USDA likes to throw a curveball, and sometimes that curveball is not throwing a curveball at all. So on the livestock side of things, how did the cattle and hogs trade today?
Yeah, some of the front month cattle, closed slightly up on the day. Cash has been strong. So with settlement, especially in that feeder cattle contract coming up, they really can't deviate too much from those. But back in months and some of your more deferred contracts were all down today in the cattle complex. Hogs were up slightly. They're kind of resting against their 200-day average as they have been for a few weeks here. So they're not going below that, but they can't really seem to get much movement up past that significantly.
And it feels like as well when we get these heavy report periods for the grain marketplace, livestock tends to take a backseat and just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, sometimes they do, and some of that is managed money flows too. So, if managed money is going to take money out of, your grain commodities, maybe they put it in livestock. It hasn't quite seemed that way here with this trade. They may be moving their money somewhere else than the livestock here after we made some new highs. This week or last Friday on livestock, and haven't really been able to get back to those levels. So maybe there's some profit taking there, and those livestock might be pretty volatile here, especially in the cattle complex.
All right. Well, that's great information today, Kenan. For anyone who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net for more marketing information, how can they do that?
Yeah, check us out on the web at agmarket.net and find a broker in your area.
Thanks again for the great analysis as always, Kenan, and we look forward to chatting again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Riley.
That again was Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers closed through the market window at iowaagnet.com. May corn down 6 3/4 at 457 3/4. May soybeans down 5 1/2 at 1001 3/4. May soybean meal down 250 at 295.10. May soybean oil up 15 cents at 42.30. Chicago wheat down 5 even at 5.43 and a quarter. Kansas City hard red wheat down 8 3/4 at 5.69 and a quarter. Minneapolis spring wheat down 3 3/4 at 5.88 and a half. May oats down 6 even at 3.67 and a half. On the Merc, April live cattle up 47 cents at 206.37. April feeders down 40 cents at 284.85. April lean hogs up 95 at 86.65. Pork cutout went unchanged at 97.10. And April Class 3 milk up 12 cents at 17.17. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. That also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Check out as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential, which just recently released its 17th episode. Find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean, or once again on our website at iowaagnet.com under the podcast tab. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.